Alright, so I want you to think about this piece of pie that's on your screen right now. And no matter what, I want you to think about the fact that this is your piece of pie. So this is your number of shares that you have, and I want to show you how a stock split will affect it, but in total it won't affect it. You're still going to get your piece of pie. So here's how this works. You can have a stock split in any number of ways, but I've put two examples up. You can have a 2-for-1 stock split or a 5-for-1 stock split. And here's how you're going to look at that. If before the split you had your piece of pie, and let's say that it was made up of 10,000 shares of stock, and it was $100 par value. That's before the stock split. Well, let's say that the company would like for each share of stock to have a lower market price, so that it's easier for people to come in and buy a new share of stock. So what they may do is a stock split. Let's say they do a 2-for-1 stock split. If that's the case, you're going to take 10,000 and multiply it by 2. Let me try that again. Equals that times 2. Okay? And then your par value will then be divided by 2. So what that does is it doubles your number of shares outstanding, and then it halves your par value. But when you multiply, because you still have the same piece of pie, the total is the exact same. If you do a 5-for-1 split, you're going to do the same thing, except for here, you're going to multiply by 5, and here you will divide by 5. So let me show you. We're going to take the original before the split, because that's what we're comparing it to, 10,000. Then we'll multiply by 5, and you'll find out that after a 5-for-1 split, you would have 50,000 shares, and your par value would be divided by 5. So you would say 100 divided by 5, and your par value would now be 20. But because you still have the same piece of pie, you multiply and find out that you still have the same value of $1 million. So if a stock split happens, there are no journal entries. No journal entries. It only changes what's in the description of your common stock. So previously, you would have had something like this. You would have had 100 par value common stock, and you had 10,000 shares issued. Alright, after the 2-for-1 stock split, you would have a description change only. So now it would say $50 par value, and you would have 20,000 shares. So you don't have to do a journal entry, it's just a description change. Likewise, if you had that after 5-for-1 split, it would now say $20 par value, 50,000 shares. So it changes the description of your stock, but it does not change anything in your accounts, because there was no change in value to any of your accounts. So no journal entry required. Let me know if you have any questions.